straight away go into inviting our international participant who makes this conference truly international from our neighboring country, Nepal, Professor Dr. Poonam Rana.
Yeah.
She's an associate professor from the Central Department of Nepalese History, Culture and Archaeology, Tribhuvan University from Kathmandu, Nepal. We welcome you to this conference, Dr. Rana. And she is going to speak on the examining the educational role of ethnic museum section. I think that's a very interesting thing. We are looking forward to your session.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone. And good morning. Are you hearing me?
Yes, very clearly.
Thank you. So, happy Museum Day to everyone. Let me share my... Okay. Shall I go to the slideshow or shall I just... Are you seeing it? Can you
Yes, ma'am, we can see that. Yes, sir, we can see it. If you can put it on a slideshow, it will be better.
Oh, okay, I'll try. It just vanished away. So let's see. Huh?
Yes.
Are you seeing it?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So, happy Museum Day and good morning to everyone here. And thank you, Kedasirishwari ma'am, for giving me the opportunity. Though she gave me a long time, but still I was a little bit inefficient. So I just focused on ethnic museum section of oldest museum of Kathmandu. And that is in Chhauni on the way to Swayambhu Temple, Stupa. So this is the aerial view. Now my paper it's not so very long, but there is background, problem of my research, objective, methodology, research, conclusion, and recommendation. So the background and setting is, it's not very far away because Kathmandu is not a big place. And it is made up of 3 cities, Kathmandu, Bhaktapur, and Lalitpur. All 3 of the sisters form into Kathmandu Mandala, the valley. And the main Darbar square or Kathmandu Darbar or palace. From the museum, it's just 2.5 kilometers. And it's on the way to Swayambhunath Stupa, which is, you can see it on the net. It's on a hillock and it's very interesting and oldest museum, oldest stupa. And the museum is on the way. So the background of this building, which you see here, it was made in 1824 by Bhimsen Thapa, who was the prime minister at that time, and he was the longest ruling prime minister. And at that time, it was not a museum, but later on, 1826, he added 2 wings and then labeled it as Sealkhana. Sealkhana is an arsenal of, at that time they were more into making of weapons, all that. So when in 1938, Rana Prime Minister Jutta Samsed came, he later on brought few things from elsewhere around the valley and then preserved it and then named it as Nepal Museum. So this is my research paper will go into the detail. At present, we don't have much time. And then in 1939, this museum was open to the public. Now, the major problem of my study is there is lack of study related to educational role of ethnic museums and the attitude of the visitors. So in a short time, I was able to get my data from small school children, from master's level students, from PhD, and the admin. So the objective here is to examine the educational role of ethnic museum at Chhauni. And I did attitudinal tests to find out the attitude of the students, the visitors, and the admin regarding whether the museum was fruitful or not. So it was not a big research, but anyway, I was able to fulfill my objectives. And so the methodology is both quantitative and qualitative has been used. My primary source was observation, interview, photography, field survey, and secondary was naturally library studies. And my quantitative data was I developed some questions, structural questions for attitudinal tests. It was for psychology actually. Attitudinal test was made by Thurston in 1928 to do study on religion, but I used it to study the attitude of the people regarding the museum. So the significance is I will be able to bring to light about educational role of ethnic museum, and the ethnic museum is not so big in this building. The Ethnic Museum is a small section of our National Museum, and this is a very big museum. It has many, many parts, and one small part is Ethnic Museum. There is Historical Museum, there is woodworks, there's stoneworks, there's bronze work. So it is all divided. There's numismatics, and there is Buddhist section, there is arsenal section, so many, 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 many. It will take us maybe 2-3 days to go and do a thorough study. So I just took Ethnic Museum because I'm involved in teaching ethnographical studies, and I'm more interested into different ethnic communities. So here what happened was this museum is a new outcome because many people at that time in 2020, Nepal was thinking of having a Visit Nepal 2020 before the COVID, and they were planning for the 2020, and many people, investors were investing to open resorts and many things. And in that context only, the Chowni Museum also started to open this ethnic museum, and naturally there are many, many ethnic groups around. A year ago, it was 125 ethnic groups, and it's a small country, but we have a lot of ethnic groups and 123 language. But today in 2021, the government has accepted 142 ethnic groups and 124 languages. Why they are increasing is because the government is giving ethnic groups more priority and more facilities. So everyone wants to become an ethnic group. So this is the context why ethnic groups are coming up. So in some contexts, it has led to preservation of community and ethnic local gods, goddesses, culture. But on the other hand, many people are opting to become ethnic groups. So here the museum is only confined to 13 ethnic groups that are displayed. And they are thinking of adding more, but I don't know. So it was not so difficult for me but the pictures may not be good because I'm not a photographer, but still, whatever it was, this was one of the ethnic community depicted as Brahmin ethnic group, and they are termed as Bahun. And it is said they migrated from India and later adapted to the Nepali society and culture. And the language is Devanagari. And there are many subcastes of Brahmins, and my paper will deal with it in detail. And the Brahmins are all Sanatana Dharmalambis and worshippers of Hindu Dharma. And here, a small, without them, any rituals will not be taken place. Because in Nepal, everywhere, in every context, from birth to death, everything, there is a lot of ceremony. If someone falls ill, also the Brahmins has to come and they have to do some Kshama Puja or some, many things go on here, lot of religious things. And without Brahmin, nothing can take place. Then we have the Kshatriyas who are termed according to the caste hierarchy. They were warriors and the rulers and earlier monarchs. And the advisors were always to be the Pandits or the Brahmins. So here we have the caste Kshatriya in Nepal, and the research, my research PhD, which I completed in 2014, was based on costumes, ornaments, analytical study of costume and ornaments of Nepalese art from the beginning of the century, 3rd century BC to 12th century AD. And in that, I found out that the first Kshatris were migration from, they were the Bansars or the people belonging to the Scythians and the Bactrians who migrated from Iran, Persians, and they came as Aryans, and then they came, I don't know how, migrated here. And that was my finding, so it was helpful here. They are also Sanatana Dharmalambis. Then we have the Gurung community. They are Mongoloid tribes and called Tamu. And they inhabit northern Himalayan section of Nepal. That is Manang, Mustang, Dolpa, Kasti, all those areas where little bit on the higher level, the snow never melts. So it's they belong to the northern region, and they are Mongoloid groups. And many of them are involved as soldiers, as Gorkha armies. In India also they apply, and in British Army. So the language is, they have their own language. Still, Nepali is the main language. Then we have the Magar. This is all, the pictures depict what was there in the museum. So I took it. It's not so good because it is better than the museum is much better than my pictures, which I took with my mobile. And the Magars are also oldest tribes. They are also Mongoloid groups. And they migrated, it said they came from China side, from Tibetan sides, and then they follow animism. Even we follow animism. We worship people tree, we worship tulasi, we worship cow. So we are also animists, and there's no shame in saying that. We are believers in soul, spirits. We do ancestor worship, we do Shraddha. So all that is animism. But then that's our religious practice. Even they do that. So they are Mongoloid, but still they observe many things, and they have a lot of gods and goddesses of their own. Then we have the Sherpas of the higher Himalayan, near the Everest Base Camp, Solu, Khumbu, all those. And these people, the environment is different, and the environment shapes the culture of the people. So here, earlier they were salt traders, trading wool, making woolen shawls, and they make all the dresses they made were made by themselves. But nowadays, due to a lot of tourism and all, a lot of modernization has taken place. So they are in the Khumbu region, and they have their own culture, and it's very interesting. We have the Limbu ethnic groups. They also, even the Sherpas are Mongoloid, even Limbus are Mongoloid. Majority of them in the northern Himalayan region, but they have now migrated to different parts. And the main place where they dwell was known as Limbuwan. And they have their own, earlier they were hunters-gatherers, but now they have become settlers and agriculturists and have joined the army. And there are many others are involved in, if they are educated, they will join government jobs. So ethnic museum, that is how changes are taking place. And Tamanga also Mongoloid groups, and they inhabit a larger part of Kathmandu Valley. The mountain valley is surrounded by many mountains, smaller mountains, and we are in the, what do you say, once upon a time, this was a lake. All three sister cities was a big lake, and the mountain areas were inhabited by the Tamang people. And these Tamangs are also Mongoloid, Tibeto-Burman speaking family, and they are also involved in becoming British joining Indian Army or British Gorkha, and they trace their descent, patrilineal descent, and they still are based on patriarchal based samaj, or what do you say, society. My Now we have Santhal or Sattar. They are also marginalized ethnic groups, and they have their own gods, own goddesses. They survive by agriculture. Earlier, they were also hunters and gatherers. We have a Dhimal. These are all portrayed in our ethnic museum. Dhimal also are worshippers of nature, and hunting gathering groups who now are into agriculture, and they weave their own clothes and they have their own gods. So it's very interesting. Nepal is a small country with a lot of interesting ethnic groups to study. And then we have in the caste hierarchy, they are considered little below the other caste hierarchy. Kami are what do you call? Blacksmiths who make, earlier their forefathers were making iron pots, pans, and they are involved. Nowadays, they don't want to do their job. Earlier, the father job was taken. Now, because of caste hierarchization, they want to study and they have become healers, agriculturalists, but they are giving up on their making of iron pots and pans. Only the older generations are involved. So, Kamis are also Hindus, and they worship Hindu deities. Then we have the Sarkis, or the shoemakers, who are also belong to the hierarchy, lower hierarchy groups. And in Nepal, they are termed as Dalit, and government gives them a higher priority. And so nowadays, even people who are not Sarki or Damaya tailors, all these people also want to become Dalit to take that priorities. That is the recent outcome of giving them extra facilities. So here you can see them making shoes. Earlier, they were not allowed to come inside the house and so many things, but now it's not like that. Maybe in their villages, such kind of hierarchy exists, and now they are becoming witch doctors, dhami, chhatri, we say, all that. And through the interview with the museum personals and all, I came to find out that the ethnic groups, cultures, and such kind of ethnic groups, they were, later on I'll tell you, but it was very good for them, because foreigners who come, at once they will come to know that so many people, such kind of ethnic groups exist, and it is like virtual. So they are interested in such kind of museums. So then my aptitude test was done with only just 30 samples, included students, visitors, and admins. And I came to find out, like I asked them very simple question, ethnic museum, is it educational for all? So they say 100% said, yes, it is very much educational. There should be more of such ethnic museums. And regarding, does it provide knowledge about ethnic groups? And of course, even the smaller children and higher level students, and also visitors and admin, of course, it is very knowledgeable. And after knowing about them, they may look and search for books and find out. So that is what I got. And and then I even asked them, because I had to ask 9 years, 10 years, 11 years old students. So is it good for the old, youth, and children? They said, yes, it was. And ethnic museum provides identity to the group, and 80% said yes, but 20% said no, because they said it only provides, you are showing only 13 groups and you are saying it provides identity to all. So that is what they said. So my research paper will give you detail on that. And regarding ethnic museum, giving pictures of different ethnic cultural groups, 90% said yes and 10% said no, it did not provide all the pictures because they have so many gods, so many goddesses, they have so many cultures, so many materialistic culture, and you are just giving us a synopsis picture and you are saying it shows ethnic groups culture. So those 10% were very rational.
Can you start concluding that? Yeah.
Now it's about to finish. So all this, examining all this, I come to the conclusion that this is the result which I've already said. So now the recommendation was parents and all whom I interviewed, they said, yes, there should be a larger section of 149 ethnic groups should be there so that the children will have a synopsis picture. And they said, make more brochures, give more details. So that was very good. And the school should make more trips to such museums to know about their own ethnic communities. And foreigners said there should be larger sections of all your ethnic groups. So we don't have time to visit all your ethnic groups, and this will give us the total whole picture. So it was very fruitful. My research was fruitful. So this is the big building. Thank you so much. Any questions?
Yeah, thank you. You gave us a panoramic view of 13 ethnic groups. I think that was quite interesting. And I think, like your research concludes, we must have a lot more expandable kind of a thing, because it doesn't truly represent all the ethnic groups. That's an interesting.
And those who are rational and very intelligent, they said no. And but others, just like this, I said, okay.
Can you close your presentation, please?
Yes.
Professor Poonam, thank you so much. All the way from Nepal, addressing all of us online.
Yeah, thank you.
We are able to see each other virtually after a long time.
Yeah.
So I hope to have more interactions with you.
Today is a holiday in Nepal. That's why I have time. Otherwise,
thank you. I know how busy you keep and how sincere you are. Thank you so much. We need more learned people like you. Thank you so much. But stay online. Please stay online if possible, okay?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, because our presentations are really interesting. The next one is about general visitors. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me just close this.
Ma'am, I have a question, if it's possible to take it.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so what I wanted to understand is that when we see the museum content and the length of it, when someone visits the museum, with 30 ethnicities presented at once versus when the museum will actually take up all 130 or 140. What are the are there any strategies in mind, or how do we make the content more, without making it too lengthy or difficult to digest it all? Anything that can be done to put it all together nicely?
Majority of them nowadays are going into digitalized museum visits. And even our oldest museum, Chowni Museum, has started that digitalized museum. I think first they give you general view, and then you have to pay to visit those detailed sites and all, whichever you want to visit. The numismatics is that much. And this is just a small section open. It has only 13 ethnic groups, not more. And as you know, the government has accepted 149 ethnic groups. So if they have a lot of space, and they are thinking of adding few more, because we have Himalayan region and tribes living in the Himalayan region. We have the mountain region and the tribes there living in the mountain region. We fall into mountain region. Then we have the Tarai adjoining Indian borders, and there we have another ethnic group. So it's a vast thing. So as you said, people are going for, now all of us are not interested in ethnic. Some are interested in arsenal, some are interested in iconographical studies, and some on bronze studies. So these people who come at present, they don't have large ethnic group to display. So they won't have time to finish the tour at all if they go into detail. It's like rushing the children into historical section, taking them like that and taking them upstairs, downstairs, like wee Willy Winky runs through the town and then finish. And after 2-3 hours, they have a canteen where they are given food and then they are taken back to school. So it's just a small synopsis portrayal. But I think now they are they have already started digital thing, but at present it's not so successful as when I went and interviewed them. It is there, some of the foreigners come, but majority of them will like to visit the place of these ethnic groups. Majority foreigners come and they go to Everest Base Camp, and on the way they do trekking and they live with these communities. So the museum is not flourishing at all as it should. So in our case also, it's similar problems which our museums face. So we as a teacher of history, culture, archaeology, we always say to the people, because we train mountain guides and all, and we tell them you have to take them to the museum, because without that, the foreigners will not go. So I think the government will take out a policy. If foreigners come, they have to visit few museums or something like that. Unless they make a policy, I don't think museums will flourish. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. One is making a policy, the other is making it attractive, that people have an experience that talks to them about what it is and the desire to go on a tour to these people. I think that should be the policy and that should be the strategy. Anyway, can you kindly close your presentation, please? Don't minimize it, close it, please.
Oh, I closed it.
No, you didn't.
No?
Ma'am, you need to stop sharing actually.
Okay. Okay. Acha. I should stop sharing or new sharing. Okay. Sorry. Stop sharing is where now?
There'll be a same place, the share button in the bottom.
Stop. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Is there
you.
anybody
Sorry,
else?
I took up your time.
No, thank you. Is there anybody else who wants to ask a question?
Now you all come to visit our museum.
Sure, we'll definitely come. Yeah.